So let's dive in on JD Martinez. So Lawrence said it. Right before the season, 2018, he signs a 5-year, $110 million deal, and he's been one of the best hitters in the game. Postseason, regular season, giving himself a chance, and nothing's deviated. And then, like I said, pause this real quick. Like I said, 2019, sign stealing scandal. They shut down the video room for a lot of guys, and he really struggled. For JD Martinez, not for the rest of the masses here. So let's bring up the first board, S-Rod, and take you back, okay? Because 2018 and 19 with the Red Sox, it was a .317 batting average. It was an OPS in the 980s, 985 if you combine the slug and on base, and the weighted runs created plus was a .154, 54% better than your average big league player. And then in 2020, 2021, kind of came down to the masses a little bit, but still very productive, still rolling out an .816 OPS and playing 14% better than your average ball player in the big leagues. In 2022, he has gotten it going again. .360, leads all of baseball in batting average. He's 6th in weighted runs created plus, 80% better. Look at that. I mean, that is crazy numbers. OPS, 977. So what does he do well? Let's focus. JD gives himself a chance because he cares, all right? I know a lot of big leaguers care, but this guy is overanalyzing it almost to a fault. Bat path for days. Let's dive in on what he does well real quick. Let's get back into the tape, S-Rod, because he destroys, kills the fastball. We know that. But he is a guy that if you flip something over the heart of the plate, with his path, and we'll get into a side angle of how he's changed since his days in Houston and his days in Boston, it is getting absolutely destroyed because he is not trying to pull that heater. He is trying to take it up the middle the other way. Bring me up the second board real quick. What he does against non-fastballs. This is crazy. Highest slug versus non-fastballs, minimum 200 plate appearances since the start of 2021. 576 slug. Oh, by the way, the guy who hits right in the lineup with him, Rafael Devers, is second with 554. I mean, some of the game's best right here. Yordan Alvarez. And by the way, Austin Riley's having a sneaky season that no one's talking about as well. Manny Machado. So let's get back into the tape. So he can handle the off speed. He could also handle the fastball. I want to dive in, pause this, and keep it paused real quick for me. He's hitting .390 with a .585 slug off fastballs and .338 with a .554 slug like we just showed against non-fastballs. But I thought something that was interesting. Eric Nays, researcher to the stars, kind of got me locked in on this next board. Bring up the next board. Bring up the sweet spot because I want to show and define what it means. Okay? Highest sweet spot percentage, minimum 80 batted balls in the 2022 season. You're like, what metric is this? What's the definition of sweet spots percentage? JD's at the top of the food chain with Mancini on down the line. Okay, sweet spot percentage, so I don't get it wrong. That is batted balls with a launch angle of in between 8 and 32 degrees, okay? So how do you get there? How do you give yourself the best chance to hit the ball on the sweet spot at the perfect launch angle and giving you a chance to be successful? Well, you got to change some things. You got to tinker, and you got to drop that bat in the zone super quick. Give me the side-by-side. Okay, so take you back to Houston, right? Trying to figure out what player he was going to be in the big leagues. Run this real quick. Setting the foot down early, kind of chopping down on the baseball. Run that back for me real quick. Give it to me one more time, all right? Sets the foot down early, almost like a two-strike approach we were talking about with Rizzo. Watch him pull that knob down with the left hand. That's the stuff we were taught. A little old school. I still think it works. Run that back. Watch him. Now bring it forward for me. Keep coming. Keep coming. Pause. Give me back just a little bit. Keep going. Even more. Stay with me back there. Even more. Right there. Okay? So the difference between pulling it with the left hand and driving it off your left ear as opposed to he's almost taking a Frisbee. Imagine putting a Frisbee in your right hand and trying to flick it. Boom. He's given himself a chance from back here to drag his barrel through the zone. And what does that produce? The highest sweet spot percentage in the game. So let's dive back into the tape. So this is a guy that's really dove in on the mechanics and what works for him and how he can be successful. Look at that bat path. From jump, Xander Bogaerts checking it out right there. Okay, here he is against Garrett Cole. And the beauty of him is when you're not trying to cheat to anything and you're not trying to pull the heater, is that you could stay back and work the ball line to line and give yourself the best chance to be successful. There's a heater driving it out to right field in Camden Yards. And if you flip the breaking ball, he could take you deep to left. Bring it up. There you go. Batted ball percentage. I mean, 32.6, 35 I mean, that's perfection. And let's finish it off with his spray chart because you can't defend him.
Wow.
Okay? He's using the entire field. Great ballpark to hit in. He's been one of the best players in the game now for an extended period of time. And you think back to his journey now. Houston, Detroit, figuring it out with Miggy. Then he goes to Arizona. No one remembers him with the Diamondbacks. I do. 4 bombs in Dodger Stadium that one night. And then he just exploded, and he's been awesome.